One day a man came to Lord Buddha and he started shouting at Buddha. He was using very abusive language, but Lord Buddha was calm and composed. After the man stopped shouting, Buddha, in a very poised tone, said, "Listen, if you send a gift to your friend and your friend does not accept your gift, what happens to that gift?" The man said, "Well, it will come back to me. I would receive it back if my friend does not accept it." Lord Buddha said, "Just now you were throwing tantrums at me. You were speaking to me in abusive language, but I did not accept any of those. What would happen to them?" The man was ashamed of himself. He said, "Lord Buddha, all the tantrums, abuse, and everything will come back to me." Friends, by now you might have an idea as to what we are going to discuss today. We are going to talk about anger, its harmful effects, and how to overcome it. As you saw in this story, getting angry is not going to help. Getting angry has its harmful effects. It can be fatal. When we get angry, we lose our relationship with others. We spoil our health. We poison our system. Anger affects our cardiac health. It affects our respiratory system. It increases the stress level within us. Anger impacts our immune system. So what's the point in getting angry? Why should we get angry and harm ourselves? Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, should you feel aversion or anger in doing any work, know for sure it is on the verge of failure. This is so true. We have experienced it in our life so many times. The most important, the most dangerous, harmful effect of anger is the fact that we lose control over ourselves when we get angry. Suppose a pilot is flying an aircraft and all of a sudden he loses control over the aircraft. What happens? What happens next is disaster, isn't it? Exactly the same way, if all of a sudden you lose control over yourself, control over your rational thinking, control over judgment, decision making, what is going to happen? It can be a disaster. Now, how to deal with this anger? Well, to be able to deal with anger, we must understand the root cause of anger. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra says, thwarted lust is anger, and anger is the friend of violence. I think here thwarted lust is not just blocking or stalling sexual desires. Probably Sri Thakur is referring to all kinds of desires. When our desires are disrupted, blocked, stalled, that leads to anger. Well, it's okay to have desires, but the problem starts when we get attached to our desires. And if you're attached to our desires, and if our desires are not fulfilled, that leads to anger. In other words, our selfish desires can be the cause of our anger. And it is our obsessed ego which breeds selfish desires. So when we desire something and it is not fulfilled, somebody blocks it, some event prevents it from getting fulfilled, we become wild in anger. So can we be detached to our desires? It is okay to be ambitious. It is okay to have great desires. But it is also important to have the ability to deal with failure, to deal with a situation where our desires are not fulfilled. If we can do that, this is going to have magical effect. While there are many anger management techniques, while there are tons and tons of books and articles and blogs have been written on how to manage anger, at the core of this problem is our attachment to our desires. The primary cause of that is our ego. If we can control our ego, we can control our anger, and we can be in control of our life. In order to control our ego, we must be submissive, we must be respectful, we must serve a master, a guru. If we practice devotion and adherence to the master, we can experience the magic. Because no desire is more enchanting than the desire to serve the Master. And when we have that supreme desire, it is okay to have any other desire, but we are not going to be attached to any one of them. Thank you very much.